It may have been one of the most important discussions held as part of the G20 Summit, the impact the weather has everywhere on Earth. Increasingly difficult to predict, weather patterns are becoming more extreme, with severe flooding and enormous wildfires, among others, claiming the lives of thousands and destroying infrastructure. The G20 gathering on disaster risk reduction was pivotal, especially for the African continent, which will be hit hardest by a changing climate. Critical to the gathering was the aim to share information, best practices, and to ensure an effective, encompassing response to hazardous weather events.
Through G20, we need to mobilize jointly financial resources because the poorest of the poor countries takes a longer time to reinstate the infrastructure that has been washed away by disasters, while richer countries have better means to rebuild after disasters. And we are going to pursue means in terms of insurances. That is why, therefore, we are going to concentrate on funding model, pursuing insurances so that we insure the infrastructure because it will be quicker. Other countries outside South Africa and abroad have gone through the road of ensuring the infrastructure. We are going to learn from their experiences and start approaching insurance companies in South Africa and financial people to ensure that we ensure our infrastructure in case disaster occurs.
Early Warnings for All is a global initiative aimed at ensuring all people on Earth is protected from climate events. This through life-saving timely warning systems to be in place by the end of 2027. South Africa is the first to have developed a roadmap for the Early Warnings for All initiative. As a framework, it will be implemented in phases.
We're looking forward to international partners and organizations who've promised us here today that they will support the implementation, but we also, as the department and also our sister departments, need to come to the party, because it's not only the responsibility for us to predict the weather and the impact of it, but it's for local government, it's for human settlements and all these other departments to know exactly what they need to do in the event of disasters. And we've seen disasters in the Eastern Cape and everywhere else, where sometimes we as government also find ourselves wanting.
The Early Warnings for All roadmap was developed by the South African Weather Service with partners. Its main aim is reaching especially far-flung rural areas where mainstream information access is limited or doesn't exist. Much was learned in discussion from countries like Indonesia, where simple but effective means of communication came to light.
The indigenous people who don't have access to cell phones and computers, etc., use a system of flags to warn each other of impending weather. So we want in South Africa as well to be able to reach those communities, women, youth, people with disabilities, very, very importantly, because if we issue a weather warning and, for example, you're blind or deaf, you might not get the message. So when we talk about trying to reach out to South Africa, we're talking about all indigenous languages, including sign language, but also people that are really vulnerable. And those communities, I think, are the ones that we need to particularly focus on. Because if you're sitting in front of a laptop or on your cell phone, in all likelihood, you're going to get a warning about the impending weather. But it's those communities that we need to focus on. And that's part of the purpose of this roadmap, is to ensure that everybody is covered. And if you understand the weather situation, you can then take preemptive action.
South Africa was praised by G20 members after the ceremonial handover of the Early Warnings for All roadmap to international ministers. Mariska Botha, SABC News, Somerset West.